Hallo miteinander, I'm Gish86 and this is Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. We are in the final dungeon of the game. It is not the final stage though, however. But unlike the other dungeons before it, this one is a whole different story. It is pretty big, it's also non-linear, you can take more than one route to the finish, and there are also many dead ends. You also have some new enemies, like these jumpy spiders, which are pretty forgettable, just spiders that jump around, not much to them. The dungeon map, as you just saw, is kind of star-shaped. We start in the very top middle, and we have to go all the way down to the lower right. There the boss awaits us once more. In the edges of the map are usually hot springs and also the occasional shop. Pencil is right here in this room. And a little bit more to the left is the first shop of many. In case you have hearts to spare and maybe missed one of the dungeon items here, feel free to just buy it. It's probably one of the best things to spend your hearts on at this point. This dungeon also has some specific music for it. It's kind of a creepy tune. You wouldn't think that the Game Boy could pull something creepy off, but in conjunction with the very dark background, it really is kind of creepy and eerie. You feel likely to be eaten by a gru. Yeah, that's what it makes you feel like. Anyway, we had to go back to the spider room. Anything else would have just looped us around. And now we've picked up the torch. All 3 dungeon items. Now here is another enemy of this dungeon, the fireballs. They are pretty aggressive. As soon as you enter a room with them, they home in on you immediately. Best thing to do is just to stand your ground and shoot at them. It does help to have all these upgrades, however. Fun fact, the flame of your fire arrows can actually hurt them. I guess you can fight fire with fire. As unusual as that may seem. Went into a little dead end here. I was talking about the atmosphere of this game earlier, and it really is a pretty good one if you ask me. Another game that pulled an eerie atmosphere off really good was Metroid 2 in my opinion. That game is kind of scary. Sometimes the music of that is just weird sounds. Weird, eerie sounds. Fun fact that I'm mentioning this game now. Metroid 2 and Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters were created with the same engine. I don't think they play all that much alike, but now that I know that, it doesn't really surprise me all that much. The games did come out at around the same time. I think both were in 1991. So yeah, no big surprise there. Another interesting thing about this dungeon is that there are some shortcuts. If you get turned into an eggplant, you could slip through this hole there. This little... too low to fit through any other way. Might also be an idea to just get turned on purpose into one of those eggplants. There just showed off where one of the hospitals is. It is actually the only hospital in this dungeon that I know of. So keep in mind where it is. You might need it. Also, the fireballs are a huge problem to fight as an eggplant, because with your hammers you just don't do enough damage. Yeah, the hammers are pretty weak compared to your bow. Another dead end, but one with prizes. Oh, this is already the last room of the dungeon. The little spiders are called Spunky, which sounds kind of cute. But we have to destroy them regardless. Now it's boss time. The Fire Serpent is this guy's name. He uses his 3-way spread shot to burn you to crisp. It always fires that in a set interval, so if you can anticipate it, it's pretty easy to slip through. Also, I found out this very neat hit and run tactic against them, where I hide in the lower right corner and just stick my head out to shoot him. Shoot him in the head till he's dead. But yeah, this is the Fire Serpent. With that hit and run tactic, I kind of break his pattern completely. It's very sad. If you look at him, he looks kind of ridiculous. Bit like a Rayman character, where the segments are just not linked into one another. Kind of makes you wonder what anatomy this thing has. And he's done already. We get the 3rd treasure, and with that one, our mission is complete. But of course, we didn't do that for nothing. All this had a purpose, and we're gonna soon find out which one that was. So, I'm Gish86, this was Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters, and next time, the conclusion. Bis bald!